Hey guys, welcome to Gen Next Door Podcast. I'm Jennifer Otero. I started this podcast to highlight the stories of local business owners, entrepreneurs, and creatives on how they started their businesses, advice they offer, and what they are doing to make a difference in the community. This is a safe space for like-minded people who want to be inspired and get motivated to live their dreams, all while giving back no matter how small. I'm right there with you, so let's do this. Today, I am with Steve Koyle. He's the founder and CEO of Elephant Care Unchained. It's a nonprofit that is dedicated to eliminating cruelty and improving elephant welfare in their native countries. I'm so glad to have you on today, Steve.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about what it is that I do.
To get started, can you summarize what Elephant Care Unchained is?
Elephant Care Unchained, as you said, is a nonprofit organization, but simple way of saying it is I travel anywhere in the world to make elephants' lives better. In some places, I make a huge difference. In some places, I just enhance elephants' lives. So whatever this is, I make this better for the elephant.
That's awesome. Before we go into detail about that, I want to talk about you. Where did you grow up and what did you want to be when you were younger? Was this always the path?
Yeah, well, yes. I grew up in Michigan. Thank God. Michigan's a good place to be from. It's pretty cold there. And I have a degree in zoology from Michigan State University. I knew I always wanted to work with animals as a boy. I used to go down and fly down to a goat farm in Tennessee when I was 12, 13 years old and spend a couple of weeks on a goat farm. My mom had some friends there. Knowing I always wanted to work with animals and never wanted to be a vet. And so now I applied for a job at the Phoenix Zoo way back in probably the beginning of 2002, maybe the end of 2001. I got the job there, met some elephants, and these 3 elephants that I met at the zoo there inspired me to kind of end up where I am today.
Well, why didn't you want to be a vet?
Vets are always the bad guys.
Really?
Yeah, and plus I'm not smart enough. So maybe I'm not smart enough is probably the better answer.
Yeah.
But no, when vets turn up, it's never really a good thing for the animals. And particularly the elephants, the elephants are really keen and really aware of their surroundings and new people. Anyway, yeah, so I never really wanted to be a vet, to be honest. I just knew I wanted to care for animals, and I have a vast career of caring for different kinds of animals. But the past 21 years have been with elephants. I
read that you attended the European Elephant Management School in Germany. That's interesting.
Yeah.
How was Germany and what did you learn there?
It was way back in 2004. That was kind of when I was at the zoo. I was able to have an opportunity to go to Germany and take a 2-week course there. And I'm still friends with some of the people in that course to this day, which is actually pretty cool. And so we've kind of climbed the ladders of different ways of helping elephants. And so, yeah, it's been a pretty, it was a learning experience. Every place you go, you're always learning, you're always growing, that was just one of many things that I've done to help, be where I am.
That's really cool. So you had the idea to start Elephant Care Unchained because of a trip in India that you volunteered at. So why did you decide to take the money from your retirement to take that Indian trip? I would do a pros and cons list. Did you do that? Or did you just go for it?
No, I go for it. I don't, there really is no plan B. When I was at the zoo, I had asked the zoo initially to help sponsor a trip for me to go to India. They didn't want to do that. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go because I need to learn more. I need to do more. And so I borrowed money from my retirement and I took a month-long trip to India while I was at the zoo. And that was maybe 2013, March of 2013, I did that. I don't really think much about myself, which is why, I don't really have a salary, insurance, or even a place to live really. But I don't want to say it's a sacrifice. I want to say it's an investment in helping elephants around the world. And so that was, again, an opportunity that I had to take, and I took it and learned a lot. And it kind of changed my perspective, kind of what I was doing and what kind of needed to be done.
I think it's so interesting when you travel to a different country, you get a different perspective on how the world works and what other people are doing. That's why I love traveling, but I would be scared to just go for it. But that's just because I have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
So that's very inspiring that you just go for it.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not a very smart guy, I guess. I mean, I just kind of go. There's a lot of things if you ask me where I am in a certain country, I won't know. They say, yeah, just fly here.
Okay.
We'll pick you up. We'll take you here. And I'm like, I don't know where there or here is. And it's kind of always been my MO to just kind of jump. Because as I've realized, and it's really not in my character, I like to be kind of structured and organized and scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
But when you work in Southeast Asia, that really doesn't work. And so it's kind of had to change my whole mindset, just kind of go with the flow. But it takes courage to kind of jump.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a little bit of that. And I really don't. I hate traveling. I hate all the lead up to it. I mean, the elephants are the easy part. Everything else I really don't like. So.
Mm-hmm. So how did you start Elephant Care and Change? What was like the first steps you took to get started? Is it hard to start a nonprofit?
My story is I'll give you when I went to India for the first time, like I said, I was really shocked because, if you don't know, you have these fantasies and these ideas, way before social media. 2013 was 9 years ago. We have these ideas of what it's like, all these guys that love the elephants and blah, blah, blah. And it's amazing. And you go there and you actually see it and you're like, what planet am I on? This is crazy. How can they treat these animals this way? How can this happen? I don't understand why they don't just do this or that. And so I was shocked, disappointed, really, and shocked. And then kind of been inspired to these things and then continued to kind of go to India 3 or 4 more times while I was at the zoo. And then the zoo decided to part ways with me for my passion and fight, I guess we can say. It had nothing to do with my skills or my work ethic or anything like that. It was my constant fight for the elephant. So I knew when I left the zoo, I knew that I still wanted to do elephants because I had acquired skills and fire is still there. So 6 weeks after I left the zoo, I applied for my nonprofit. And then with my nonprofit, I don't want to plug anybody, but I used a company to help with that process. And it was pretty easy. I know it's easy in the States, but what I hear is it's not as easy as it is abroad to start a nonprofit. I just followed the bouncing ball and used the company, and it was about, it cost about $2,000 to do it.
Oh, wow.
Which I didn't have, but that's what credit cards are for. So,
So what exactly is your job? What do you do exactly? And how do you help these elephants?
I don't have a job per se. A job means you get paid. I don't get paid.
Okay, so how do you live not getting paid?
Well, I'm a nonprofit, so I have to have donations in order to do what it is that I do. And the reason why I wanted to do that, it's not really smart, but seeing how people are and seeing the way elephants are kept and seeing how people live that care for elephants, these people don't have money and they're not going to pay some strange white guy from the West to come over and take care of their elephants.
Right.
The things that I talk about was kind of a foreign concept to them. So I knew there was no way that they could pay me to go and help elephants, right? And so I said, okay, well, if I can get people to donate to me, then I can go there and it's one less obstacle to help these elephants. Because for me, it's about helping the elephants, not about anything else but helping these elephants. So I don't have to ask for money from these people. I guess it's one less obstacle for me to get in the door, if you will. And so what it is that I do, anything really, anything to kind of improve the lives of the captive elephants. It's very diverse. The elephants are the same. They do the same thing. And so you want to put them in certain environments where they can flourish, where they can be better. The captive elephant is a tragic story. So depending on the country that I'm in, depending on the place that I go to in these countries, different things, but the philosophy is kind of the same. If elephants are on concrete, you don't want elephants being on concrete. They've got foot problems because they're in a bad environment. I can take care of the elephant's feet. I'm kind of known for that. But we also do training, whether it's positive reinforcement training, which is immediate, or we do target training, which is a little bit, different. And we can go down these long conversations.
Yeah.
But basically you want to improve the facility, you want to improve how they're treated, and then do any type of care that needs to be done. But elephants are pretty durable and they put up with a lot of nonsense that we do to them. So if you give them a proper environment, a lot of these things will kind of take care of themselves.
Yeah. Can you walk me through like what a normal day looks like for you? Like traveling wise, like how you help the elephants, and then on the business side of your organization, like it seems like a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm doing everything by myself here, right? I mean, I say by myself because I'm the one man band, but the people that give me a place to live, or the people that donate to me are part of this journey. I just do all of the things. So I'm thankful for the people that actually help me do these. So basically, I get enough money, or if I don't have enough money, but I get a phone call and it's credit card, or it's take the donations and go to a place. And let's say I go to India. So I go to India and I'll go and I'll visit. I have people that will reach out to me, and then through those connections, I'll go and be able to find these elephants in different places. And let's say I go to a temple. Temple elephants are treated, the worst of any type of captive elephant situation. Temple elephants are by far treated. Yeah, which, brings religion into the play. So it's another big obstacle of how can I criticize their religion if I'm trying to help the elephant and telling them that maybe they shouldn't do these things with the elephant. But if I go to these temples, we have conversations, and, I try to demonstrate, and I have a little tablet with me, and I can show them pictures and communicate that way and say, listen, why don't you try this, this or that. And then ultimately you hope to, I call it planting seeds. The hard part is earning their trust. The majority of experience that most of these places get from Westerners is a negative one, frankly. They'll go and they say, oh my God, this is terrible. What the hell are they doing? How can they do this? Blah, 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 blah. And they put it on social media. And so there's no incentive for these people to trust anybody or to want to have this extra headache that goes into them. Or they want to go and hug and kiss the elephant. So it's kind of those two options, right? Mm-hmm. None of those are very productive for helping elephants. The exposure is good in a way, but if you can expose things a little bit more kind, I guess. I don't know where I'm going. The point is, it's hard for me to get in the door when they've already had these negative experiences with people, right? So once I'm in the door, then we kind of have I'm able to share what it is that I know, as opposed to not being even able to come in the door. I'm kind of rambling, but
no, that's fine. How do you get into the door in the first place? And once you're in the door, is there a language barrier? How do you make them see your side?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll have organizations or people that know places or elephant owners or wherever it is that I go, and I always have a translator, absolutely, because I'm currently kind of in 6 countries in different languages. So yeah, I'm pretty helpless. I wish I knew the languages, but I haven't been anywhere long enough to really invest in that because constantly traveling and moving. Yeah, you always have a translator. I know that there's things that are lost in translation because the things that I talk about they're common knowledge in the elephant world, but they're not common knowledge to people who aren't familiar with it, right? So those things are lost in translation, which is why I have this little tablet or even my laptop. I never know what I'm gonna say or what's gonna come up, so I need to have some proof that I actually know what I'm talking about, kind of thing. And so I share different, and it's not always the same videos or the same pictures because you have to apply what it is you're looking at, So those are kind of the things that I'm able to do. I get in the door through talking to, whether it's monks or when I spend time in Sri Lanka, you have to get permission from the monk in order to go and see the elephant people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the mahouts are elephant caretakers. If I say mahouts, that means elephant keeper. So these mahouts, some want help, but they're not able to get help because their bosses won't allow Whitey from the West to come help. Or maybe they do. And so you have to go and talk to a monk and get permission to go in and do that.
That's kind of scary.
Well, there's times where I'm kind of a traveling salesman. You go and I'll drive 3-4 hours to a temple. You knock on a door and say, hey, listen, I'm such and such. I'd like to help your elephant. Can I do that? And they'll be like, who are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So, you take a chance. And I've been turned away many times. There was a particular elephant in Sri Lanka, for example. I was in Sri Lanka for 8 months. And it took 6.5 months to get access to this elephant because we could never find the monk or get a hold of them.
Goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. I visited a temple probably 5 or 6 times in order to go and to get permission to go and do this, not knowing that he would say, yeah, you have, it's an investment. And so you continually, it depends where you go. If you go to Thailand, you go to a camp and elephant owners don't want the headache, so they tell you to go away. Or, wherever it is you go. If you go to a very good sanctuary places that I know and support that are friends of mine, they love to have me there. They really don't need me. I try to go to the really, really bad places where they need help but don't want it.
You're doing amazing work. My goodness. Um,
And it's hard because I do so much. It's not like I just go to this one place and do one thing, or there's
yeah,
a
it's
lot of,
just you.
yeah, there's a lot of other factors involved.
So what's the biggest issue you have seen with elephants?
Probably the lack of knowledge, the lack of, I don't want to say evolution, but evolving, because I've always said, these guys have worked with elephants for 20, 30 years, but they have 20, 30 years of 1 year experience, right? Meaning whatever they did from day one, they do 20 years later. And it really has zero to do with the elephant. The hardest thing for me is teaching compassion. How do you teach compassion? How do you make someone care about the elephant?
How do you?
When they're struck, well, that's the challenge, right? That's, part of it is you have to care for the people that care for the elephants. You have to care for these animals as well. You don't treat them as less, You have to understand that, okay, so I'll go there and I'll buy these guys lunch, or I'll buy them, blankets, or if they need something, help them out in a way. So you want to take care of them as well. Because if they're happy and they're, that's still a good word, but if they're happy and content, then they're going to be better with the elephant. If they're miserable and angry, just like us, if we're not happy with our day to day and our jobs, we're probably not going to do a very good job and be focused on it. So the biggest challenge is that. And it's the whole cultural dynamic. It's easy for us because we're very comfortable here, in the West, right? We're very comfortable.
Yeah.
We got AC, we've got power, we've got hot water, we've got all these things that are that we probably take for granted, to be honest. Because I know when I went to India, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're
No, I've like taken a shower with like a bucket of water.
Yeah.
I've done that,
Right.
and it's like,
Right.
what am I doing?
Yeah. But that's how people live, right? And so you have to understand that. And so, if you're worried about where your next meal's coming from, if you're literally sleeping in a hut next to the elephant, are they really worried about what the elephant's feeling? Are they really worried about that? I mean, I'm
They're
sure
just worried to like survive.
Correct, right? And so you have to understand that. And so there are some bad guys out there, absolutely, like everything. But for the most part, you have to be sympathetic and understanding of that and try to work together to make it work for everybody. It's a huge undertaking, it's a huge expense. That's the challenge. The elephants are the easy part, but making people care about the elephant, making people want to do better for the elephant, that's the challenge.
So I saw a video of you cutting like the toenails of the elephants. Like,
Sure.
How does that work? Like, can you explain what the feet look like? And yeah.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, there's about 100 videos of I think over 100.
It's interesting. Everyone should go look at it.
Yeah.
I'll link it below.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, it'd be great. No, foot care for elephants is probably the most important thing you can do for a captive elephant, because it says so much about the environment that they're in. Like if they've got healthy feet, they're probably in a pretty good environment. It's beneficial to them. If they've got bad feet, then they're in a bad environment and not very well cared for. So you can tell a lot if they lay down or not, how they lay down, what kind of behavior patterns, the way nails grow, if they're worn a certain way. So you can tell a lot by just looking at their feet. And so over the years, I've got my mentor who's the world's best at it. But over the years, I've gained some skills, and I've trimmed, probably over 100 elephant feet in my short career.
Wow.
But elephants actually walk on their toes, right? These huge animals walk on their toes. They don't have hooves. They've got individual digits like us, so they actually walk on their toes. And so, to make a long story short, you don't want the elephants. You want pressure on the elephant's nails, and so you want to bring the nails up, and you want them walking on the pads of their feet. In a nutshell, they get abscesses, a whole another 5-hour conversation that never ends. But basically, you want the pressure off of the nails. The nails have a distinct shape, so you've got to do certain things in order to have healthy feet.
The toe is the whole foot. I thought it was a foot. So
if you were to walk like this is how the elephant walks. So on the front leg, the first joint is their wrist joint, and then their elbow joint is up there. It's not like the back. It's their back foot. So the back thing is the ankle, and then it's the knee higher up. So So they actually walk on their tippy toes. Okay.
Their toe is just like as big as your head. They're huge.
Their feet are huge. Yeah, it takes if I do all 4 feet, depending on how the elephant is, it takes over an hour to do all 4.
Whoa.
If it's a bad situation, it'll take 2 hours. Sometimes 1 foot will take, an hour. Depends on what you're doing, but depends on the severity. It depends on what you're able to do and how the elephant cooperates.
How long does it take for you to like cut it again? Like,
depends.
How fast does their nails?
Well, they grow about an eighth. They say they grow about like an eighth of an inch every month or so. But depends on their diet, depends on their movement, depends on what they're doing. Some elephants don't require foot care if they're in a good environment. Maybe they'll touch up here and there, but what's important is that you're able to, which leads into training the elephants to pick up their. Like in Thailand, for example, all the elephants are trained to like give kisses and paint pictures and do this and that, but they're not trained to pick their feet up for foot care. So you're training them to do things, but nothing to care for them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to lots of these things that goes on.
Can you tell me a story that sticks in your mind that people may be shocked to know about? It could be good or bad.
Kind of a general thought that I always have is, elephants are too good of a species, meaning every captive elephant should want to kill every single person it sees because of what we've done to them for many, many years.
Any captive animal in general.
Correct. Yeah, correct. I mean, we can pick our fights, but I have to stick with yes, all captive animals. But elephants require so much care and so much space and so much room. They're too good of a species in that we don't deserve them. And the things we've done to them for many, many years and still do. The fact they don't kill everybody shows how good they are, because I think instinctively they're that good of an animal that they don't just smash people. Ultimately think that it's going to be okay. These people, not everybody is bad. Not everybody. So that story, the more I talk about it, it's always, emotional. I don't want to start crying this early in the morning, but
they just seem so kind and like passive.
Yeah, but they could just kill you just the same.
Yeah.
Yes, but they are. They're if humans were better beings, we'd be elephants.
That's good.
Okay. So it just kind of, where my head's at, right? And so they're fascinating animals. And, I've dedicated my life to helping all of them. I think the best way to say it is they're too good of a species and they don't deserve us,
Yeah.
Or we don't deserve them. Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't deserve them. And we're doing a shit job caring for them.
For me, I have a lot of empathy. I feel like sometimes to like an unhealthy amount, and I can't even imagine what you're doing. So like mentally, how are you? And like, how do you push yourself to keep going even on hard days? Like, do you get burned out? Do you get mad at these other people? I would go crazy.
I've been doing it for a long time and I have lots of sleepless nights. I cry a lot by myself. I don't cry in front of the people because, you gotta keep your shit together. But yeah, it's hard being by yourself and people don't understand. If I was taking care of dogs and cats, which I love, I've been vegan for 22 years, but if I took care of, dogs, people can relate to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But people can't relate to a temple elephant. They've never seen a temple elephant. And so people don't really understand the capacity of kind of what I'm trying to do in a sense. And so you feel alone in that regard. It's a long, lonely road, but I don't want to feel sorry for myself because I chose it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, on certain days are really tough. I'm constantly walking around asking for money, constantly figuring out how to continue to do this, living out of a suitcase, both here and abroad. That's the tough part. So, but actually, I went for a 5-mile walk this morning. So you try to keep moving. Well, I walked at a good pace, but sometimes
I don't walk that much.
Yeah, but it's just you have to take care of yourself also. It's not easy. I don't have an answer. I just kind of wake up and do it. Some things are very tough and elephants are easy. Everything else kind of sucks.
Do you wish more people would do what you do? Are there others that help elephants like you?
Yeah, there's a few people out there. Some people get paid. There's some people that, different levels of what they're able to do. There's not much that I can't do. My mentor has been doing it for a long, long, long time. He goes, he gets paid, going to zoos. Got another buddy who's starting to kind of do that as well. I've just kind of chosen this avenue because I know there's a huge need for it. There are a few people out there, but I don't, without bragging or willing to do it. There's not much that I can't do. I can train elephants, but I can also do feet. And, doing feet is kind of a very, very specialized thing that most people don't have the.
Would you want to like mentor other people?
Yeah, I've got big plans. I've got big plans of having a team of people because I can't be everywhere, but I've got.
Right.
I can have a guy in India right now if I could, pay him and go pay myself at some point. But I've got people that I know and meet and organizations that I would like to support and continue. I've got a workshop planned for next December in Thailand. So I want to continue to build upon that because what I believe is the proper way and what I've been taught. It's a good thing. And so I absolutely. And I've had things about interns and things like that, but it's not just up to me per se, because I would love to share my knowledge. It doesn't do me any good. I don't have any else. It doesn't do me any good to keep this knowledge to myself. So I would love to share it. But if I get an intern, I've got to organize that with the places that I go visit, and the places that I go and help. They have to be a trusting thing because it's hard enough for me to go somewhere because I don't publicly, I never say anything bad publicly because if I do, then I can never help these elephants.
Yeah.
Because people are watching me and watching my page. This place is terrible. How could they do this? The moment I say something like that, then I might not bother trying to help ever again because they'll say, well, no, you said this about this place, blah, 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 blah. What are you going to say about us? So people can trust me. They just don't know it. And so I've got to have people along those same lines. And, and I'm not pursuing people. And if people want to contact me, they can, and some do. They never really continue, and I'm just going. So if people want to get on board, people can make it happen. But it's not my responsibility to bring somebody with me, even though it might be easier.
Yeah. How do you raise the money? Like, how do you advertise what you're doing? And do you collaborate with other people? What do you do?
I collaborate with other people, but not necessarily for fundraising. Fundraising is a whole thing. I mean, I use social media, but social media is great for kind of sharing some information, but it's not great for raising the kind of money that I'm starting to need. I've got I've got a private email list that once people donate, or friends of mine, I've got a list of about 300 people that have donated at one point or another. It's a private list. I share, behind the scenes kind of private things. So people, I don't make people pay monthly, which, like Patreon, those types of things. I've already been doing it before Patreon came about, and I don't feel right about doing it now, even though, maybe 10% of people even open the freaking emails anymore. But anyway, it's hard. Like I don't, what I find is that there's some really, really awesome people out here. And so when you're down in the dumps, you get energized by somebody sending you a nice email. Maybe sending you a couple of bucks, which both of those are very important to me. But I've got big, huge plans, and that takes some big bucks. But I'll continue doing it as long as I can. So there's no answer to the fundraising. I think of different things. Maybe somebody watching this will want to help. That's the hard part for me, is because it's not about the work. It's not about doing stuff. It's about asking for help to do it.
That's hard, asking for help.
Yeah,
it's, I guess, more of like spreading the word and then seeing if anyone kind of connects with your story and then helps you money-wise.
Yeah. The idea is that somebody hears me talk or knows the story or knows something, that I can inspire somebody to want to help without kind of asking. That's ultimately what I like to do, but sometimes I have to ask for help,
Right.
So donate, everybody.
Oh yeah, donate, please. You won't ask, but I'll ask for you. Please donate.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it never ends.
How do you separate your personal life with your job, or is it all connected? Like, do you want to like settle down somewhere?
It's funny. I don't have a personal life really, which is funny. I'm never really anywhere long enough at this point. I mean, I would love to have somebody support me, along this journey. Somebody I can count on, so that's a difficult thing. People, it's about, proximity, that kind of thing. Like people are around, but like if I'm going to be gone, like when I go. I don't know when I'll be back. Would want to join that journey, 'cause I could use a pat in the back every now and then. So I don't really know. I'm open to all that, but I just don't, never had that question before, by the way. So, but I'm whatever, just talk about it, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to it, but it's.
What do you do like outside of work, like for fun? Or do you like explore the countries?
No, when I'm abroad, I don't really. People are donating money, and I don't really want to go and I'll take a day or two, then stay at a nicer hotel or some things like that. But I don't really go out and explore kind of things when I'm out traveling, because people donate money to me, and I don't feel right about doing that. And plus, I don't really want to do that.
Right.
I'm there to take care of elephants, and I love doing that. I don't think about anything else. When I'm with the elephants, I don't think about anything else. And so that's what I'm there to do. And so what I do for fun, I don't know. I watch sports, exercise, hang out with family whenever I can. It depends where I am. If I'm abroad, then it's a little bit lonely. But if I'm here, I'll spend time with the family. When you don't have your family around, you miss it. You take it for granted when your friends and everybody's around.
Yeah.
So I value time very well. So when I reach out, when I text people, when I'm here, or even when I'm abroad, when you don't hear back, it's kind of weird. It bothers me a little bit. People get busy with their things, and then time is gone. So.
Right. And you only have a limited time when you're back. What kind of
even when I'm not back, send me an email, send me a text, but people get caught up in their things. I can't take it personal, but you kind of do sometimes, right?
What kind of sports do you watch?
I'm a UFC fan. I'm a mixed martial arts fan, so I enjoy UFC.
Ooh.
But I'll watch anything. I'm not a big, like baseball's on, the World Series on, I don't really watch that. But I'll watch football I watch whatever. Less and less as I get older. The World Cup's coming, so I'll be watching pretty much every game of the World Cup. Soccer.
Ooh, fun. I'm pretending that I know any of that stuff.
Yeah. Every 4 years. It's the biggest sport in the world. So, USA plays. They play Wales first game, and then the day after Thanksgiving, we play England. So it's a huge game, second game of the world. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. I'm a soccer fan as well, or football as we call it.
Okay, so what's an obstacle that you're facing right now, and how are you trying to solve it?
You kind of alluded to all of those things before.
Right.
Fundraising is an obstacle, right? Getting funding to kind of do and not worry about it in a sense. Because I'll go places and I'll buy enrichment, meaning I'll buy things for the elephants to do when they're just in their spot. So that costs money. If I need to go travel to a new place, that'll cost money. Sometimes, housing is provided. Sometimes it's not. Food, travel, the flight is always the biggest expense, and so if I don't have a lot of money, then I put it on the credit card. And I don't not go because of the money. It's probably dumb. I don't know. But, so you put that on a credit card and you go and you help. The problem is I have a skill, but what's my skill worth? I guess nothing, because I don't get money for it. But so yeah, fundraising, trying to, I've always said the hardest thing in life is knowing that you can help, but not being able to. Meaning if I see an elephant chained up over there, wherever it is, but they want nothing to do with me, the people. They want nothing. They want no help. It's an animal just suffering. It could be no different than a dog chained in a backyard or whatever. And you can help. I know I can help. If you just did this, it doesn't cost you anything. Just do that. But not being able to is the worst feeling in the world. That's frustrating. Yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world. And so knowing I can help. Let me help.
So what can other people do to help you, or what do you advise them to do or not to do?
I don't want to say donate, because it's not really about that. I mean, obviously, yes. But when people are out and about, think about the animal for a minute. When you're out and about, if you're at an amusement park, if you're at an elephant place or whatever. I'm not telling you to not go. If there's an elephant place that gives rides, go to the place. Just don't ride the elephant, because those animals need money too. They need funding coming in. And basically, if you change the demand, then these bad things that we don't like will stop.
I haven't thought about it that way. Yeah. It's
really that people say boycott, boycott, boycott. Well, the fact is, there's not enough sanctuaries, there's not enough land in this world for all these elephants. So these elephants, the majority of them are going to be where they're at, right? So let's make that better, and let's change the demand for what we want as consumers, right? Because the majority of people who have elephants don't give a shit about the elephants. They just want to make their money. right? So if I give you $20 to ride the elephant, they don't care if I'm riding or if I'm walking, to be honest. Why would they care? So the more people that do that, the demand will change, and those animals will get the money coming in the door so that food can continue and these types of things. Yes, things, in some cases, it will never change and people don't care. There's bad apples in all, in every bunch. But that would be a good way to do things, to approach things a different way. Yeah, you can boycott and you can go and support the very few legitimate places that are out there. That's fine too. I mean, you can do that, but what about the ones that, none of these elephants signed up to be slaves. None of them signed up to have these shitty lives. And that's how I look at it. I could be a hypocrite by helping, an elephant, by taking care of its feet and trying to give it a better life where it is. And the next day it's walking down the street, in a parade. Does that make me a hypocrite? I don't know, but it's not the elephant's fault. And I know for those hours that I'm with that elephant, it's not getting hit, it's not getting abused, it's getting food, it's getting proper care and attention. I know that. And so that's kind of how I look at it, I guess.
That's a good perspective. I like that. So before this, I didn't really know a lot about elephants, and I found out that there are two species of elephants, the Asian and the African, and then some people say that the African can be split into the savanna and the forest elephant, and then they also have like really great memories. Do you have any other fun facts that you can share with us?
I mean, it's all silly stuff. Technically there are three species of elephants. So the African forest elephant is the third species. And they've got all kinds of subspecies, like the Bornean elephant, the Sumatran elephant, those kinds of things. The scientific aspect, don't ask me, because I'm not real. I'll say something wrong and somebody will attack me. How dare you say it? Anyway, I'm the practical, on the feet, boots on the ground kind of guy. Interesting facts. I don't really, great memories. I've already developed.
Do you know how long they can live for?
It depends who you ask and where you're at. But 60 to 70, they can live to be that long. In captivity, they can generally live a little bit shorter life in captivity. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got little nuances, trunks are different, teeth are different, skin's different. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any like interesting facts about elephants except they're amazing, but everybody already knows that. So.
Yeah. Okay, so what's something you want to leave the listeners with? Information about your projects, last inspirational words.
Change the demand, like I said earlier. I mean, if you want to help and do some homework about places that you're going to help. There's nothing more frustrating for me than people asking me that told me they donated money to a certain place without really knowing. So they're asking me, but they already donated money. Those types of things, it's hard to kind of figure out exactly what you want. But if you want to help. Don't wait. Don't waste time. Because people always say, I wish I could do this. You can do whatever.
Yeah.
There's resources out there. I'm out here. I'm a straight shooter when it comes to elephants. I won't tell anything wrong. The elephant story always stays the same for me. So I don't change the elephant story just because of where I am or who I'm talking to. I wish I had more inspirational talk at this moment.
Well, the whole thing was inspirational. So you did good.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. If you want to help. And how we can help, you can figure that out.
Last question. What is your favorite place you've been to? What's like your favorite elephant, I guess? My favorite elephant place, well, there's countries of my favorite elephant places. There's about 3 or 4 that I really enjoy and that I really support. They know who they are, and you don't want to say this.
Well, there's 2 in Thailand. There's 1 in Cambodia. That might be about it as far as like legitimacy, as far as places that I really support. I mean, there are other places out there, but I don't really take part in stuff that they do. I haven't been everywhere either, to be fair. But yeah, there's a place in Cambodia called the Elephant Valley Project in Cambodia, which is an amazing place. There's 2 places in Thailand. One is called the Boon Lot Elephant Sanctuary in Sukhothai, and then there's one in Chiang Mai called Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary. And those are not my partners, but the people that I trust. There's a good project with Animals Asia in Vietnam, doing a lot of really good work at the Yak Don National Park as well. And I plan to be going there in February. So yeah, so those 4 places are kind of the ones that I know well. So I mean, I've been to 100 places, I guess, maybe. I've seen thousands of elephants.
Wow.
But yeah, it never ends. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody else, but there's some legitimate places and there's some not legitimate places. But yeah, if anybody has any questions about places to go visit, if they're going to go to a certain country, I can probably steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll have all his information in the show notes and stuff. Thank you so much for talking to me. And
Thanks
it's very interesting and inspiring what you're doing. And I hope you continue to do it for a long time.
Well, until I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I'm going to be doing it. So I take care of my health, I guess, and I'll be okay. I've got a few more years in me.
Yeah.
So we'll see what
With
happens.
no insurance.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. But yeah, it's kind of yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. What a great episode this week. I really enjoyed talking with Steve. He's such a kind and selfless person. We need more people like that in the world. So please support him by donating to his nonprofit, Elephant Care Unchained. I've also included all the links in the show notes, so check that out. And if you like this episode, please spread the word. I would really appreciate it. I also would like to mention that today is election day. I think it's so important to vote because we have put up with so much shit, and the only way things can change is if we vote. I know it's hard to figure out who everyone is, but research everyone because each job is important. They give out stickers. Do you guys know that I have a whole box full of stickers? What do you guys do with them? I was thinking of creating a poster or putting them in a notebook. I don't know. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon.